I want to go back a little bit. I want to go back to high school because I want to talk about that with you a little bit because I'm looking at some of these stats, bro, and I'm like, I'm like this, bro. I'm like, man, come on, man.
You gotta
Like,
read it over again.
so eighth grade, bro. Eighth grade, because you played varsity as an eighth grader. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go through all the years for you,
All right.
and I know you know them all by heart.
Yeah.
So you as an eighth grader, you
Mhm.
average 22.
Yeah.
As an eighth grader on varsity, that's all right. You said freshman year, you average a measly 34 as a freshman. I'm like, okay, damn.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, 36.
Yep.
All right, that's pretty good too.
Yep.
Junior year, you just say fuck it. You just like, all right, I'm average 50.
Yeah.
50. And then your senior year, you come back and you struggle and you average 49. Like bro, and then on top of that, bro, you were a two-sport athlete. Like you
Yeah.
were winning state championships, both basketball and football. Like kind of just bring me through that whole high school experience, bro, because you're the all-time leading scorer in New York State history, which is unbelievable. You have, I don't know, like 5,000 points or something like that. It's pretty incredible. Like that whole experience and that attention, you had that at an early age. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
how did you handle that?
Yeah. It's all around me. It's like going back. Obviously we just talked about it, but with Cuse, I had a lot of great people around me who helped me get through last year. I had a lot of great people around me in Glens Falls who kept me level-headed pretty much and told me how it was, told me, the good and the bad. People don't want to see that. They just see I score 50 points in a game and just think that, oh, they're letting me do whatever I want. I'm just chucking up, shots here and there. And it's not real basketball. But at the same time, they don't understand that, like, we were winning games. And that was, like, the most important thing. And, a lot of people are like, he always stayed in public school. He didn't go to prep school, so he's not going to be successful. But the be different thing, my motto, whatever that I live by, it just comes from that. And it's all because of like I said, the people I had around me in Glens Falls. They kept me level headed. They didn't let me get too big. And a lot of them were family members. I graduated with 10 cousins, so I was always around family no matter what. And they wouldn't let me get too big for them because it ended in a fist fight or something.
Yeah.
Honestly, it started way back in even seventh grade. I played freshman, and that's kind of when the buzz started happening. Like, I kind of proved myself there, and then they were, questioning whether or not I should play varsity or not. And it was a different coach at the time. His name was Coach Hamill, who coached Jimmer while he was there. My eighth grade year, and, he thought I was gonna be in the rotation, the beginning, and then in practice, I kept, getting better and better each and every day, and then eventually I started. In the first game, I had 31 points and hit the game-winning three at the buzzer. And that's kind of when to myself, I was like, I can really do this. I'm really like gonna, pursuing basketball and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, my whole life I played and always wanted to be a, division basketball player. But that's the first time it really settled in, and the first time that obviously attention came. I got my first D1 offer the next day, and that was like, when people started getting around me,
Who is that from?
High Point.
Okay, High Point. Okay.
Yeah, High Point is in North Carolina. But that's when you see everybody coming in. Everybody's trying to get a piece of you, as they say. But I really stuck close to the people who were around me, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is like I had a lot of family members who were around me, and a lot of people who I could really trust, and I think that's why I was able to be so successful, winning wise as well back in high school.
But how hard was it though? Like every game, bro, because
Yeah.
like you said, you guys were winning, but and you were
Mhm.
shooting the ball. You had to shoot the ball to win, right?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
type of team you had to score to win the game. So how hard was it each and every game? Like you were the focal point. You averaged 50 points in your junior year, bro. So
Uh,
you're scoring 50 a game, dude. So but
yeah.
like, and they're probably double triple teaming you.
There's a lot of videos, a lot of pictures of dudes who were like locking arms even around me. Obviously, it became a foul eventually, but I think, like you said, it was kind of I was just doing what I had to win. Like I wasn't doing it because I was having fun with it. I was, I mean, I was, but I was doing it
Right.
because I was
Yeah.
competing. I was like, it was something that I was just like naturally doing. I wasn't doing it on purpose, like asking the scorekeepers how much points I got. I got to get to 50, this kind of stuff. And another thing is, our team averaged like 89 points per game, 89, 90, 88. So we had a lot of guys who scoring, and kind of the play style we played was, a lot like the Warriors a few years ago, where they just came around, shooting a lot of threes, running up and down, getting a lot of fast break points. And it was just a fun style of basketball. And obviously it fit my game perfectly. And it allowed me to do a lot of the things I wanted to do. And I think that's why I scored so many points. But I mean, at the same time, anytime, you're a best player on the team, you're obviously going to score the most points. And, like I said, we scored 89 points a game. And it just so happened that 50 of them would come from me. But we had a lot of other guys who were able to do a lot of things and help me out. And I think that's just another credit to Glens Falls as well, though. It's like, nobody ever got, jealous of it. Nobody ever got, mad at it. It was everybody was playing their role. Everybody, embraced it, and everybody embraced what they were doing. So, and it just goes to show, senior year we won the state and federation championship. And I think in high school, honestly, my class had only lost probably a total of less than 10 games. So it just goes to show that everybody embraced it. I think that it goes back to having the people around me who, really cared about winning and really cared about, staying engaged and level-headed.
So I'm gonna tell you this, bro. So in high school, I averaged my junior year, I think I probably averaged like 34 or something, and then I ended up transferring to Oak Hill.
Oh, yeah.
But if I'm averaging 50 points as a junior, 49 as a senior,
yeah,
I'm talking shit. Like I'm talking shit during the game. Like a couple, like because it's a lot of those shots you made was hard shots. I know, like in your face, defender up there, they like. So you got to, and it is cool. Like it's cool to talk shit. Like people get that misunderstood. Let me get it. So it was some times where you turned around and was saying some shit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I remember. I don't know. You've seen it. Like, I don't like starting it, but I'm always like, I'm glad to finish it. I'm one of those guys who loves to egg it on. I'm not gonna lie. Like it creates the competitiveness. I mean, you're the best at it. I've seen you do it multiple times. Like it just competes. It like gets that competitive edge going, which makes you play better. So I remember going at it with fans. Even sometimes people at the end of the bench, and like. I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't start it, but I was glad to, engage in it and finish it usually. And, like I said, I had a lot of cousins, so I always knew I had people around me who were going to have my back. And
that helps out. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was always there were scuffles, in high school. There was, some pretty bad, honestly, I can say it now that I'm gone. One of the games junior year, it got called because it ended in an all-out brawl, from fans, coaches, players, and student section. So that definitely stemmed from it usually carried over from the football field, because back where I'm from, a lot of the football players play basketball. Right. And in football, you can get away with a lot of things. And I'll say 100% on the football field was where a lot of my talking was done. Whether I was making a big hit or whether I was scoring a touchdown on somebody. All that stuff. But on the football field, it definitely carried over to the basketball court. And that's kind of why, I mean, we won a lot of games in football and basketball. And so that just naturally you're going to get hated on. But I'll be the first to admit that we like to call ourselves confident, not cocky. But there was a lot of mouthy dudes over in Glens Falls.
Yeah, the football players on the team was like, just wait till next football season.
Yeah.
That's the comeback, right? And then you come back and win a fucking state championship in football.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We was always ready to go. We was always ready to rumble.
So was there ever like a moment where like you were like, shit, I might play both in college?
Yeah, honestly, I say after I won the first state championship in football sophomore year, that's when I started getting, some attention. I had, Tulane wanted me to play both, UMass wanted me to play both, Penn State wanted me to play both.
Damn, Penn State. Ooh.
Yeah, there was like a lot of times where like I'd start talking to some basketball coaches, and they'd even like offer it up, like, we've been talking. Our football coaches have seen your stuff, like we can might make that possible if that's like like an attention grabber kind of thing, if you really want to play both. And so I entertained it for a while, and then when you have Jim Boeheim, G-Mac, Coach K, Coach Shire, Coach Beeline, Coach Holtman, and all the Penn State staff, and they come into your house, and within a week span, you kind of understand, where you're lying at, and that you should probably maybe focus on basketball for sure. But I'd say I entertained it for sophomore to junior year until junior year basketball season.
Okay, so junior year, you was like, all right, this is straight hoop, because Coach Boeheim wasn't having that. I already know that.
Yeah, no, Coach Boeheim. Yeah, I would show the letters that I began from the football team. They'd be inviting me to the games and stuff and visits, and Coach Boeheim was like, "You need to figure it's one or the other here."
That's 100%. So you chose Syracuse. I mean, I'm sure that's kind of was your dream school from the start.
Yeah.
But what other schools were like right there with Cuse, or was it just like a landslide?
No, I was pretty close up until the end. I think most of it was like a lot of connection kind of things. Like, obviously Michigan, my dad had played for Coach Beeline at Lemoyne when he was in college. And so, the Beeline connection was always there. He had come watch me play a lot. He even came to meet me at school one time and just talk. So that was kind of like a good connection. And, I was obviously, I'd say my dad obviously, obviously had like a relationship kind of thing there where he was, a little tied to. Duke's Duke. You're gonna, obviously listen to Coach K and Coach Shire and
Right.
those guys have to say. Um, and then even with BC, that was kind of the place that reminded me most of Glens Falls. Don't get me wrong, they're a competitive school, all that kind of stuff, but it's kind of a place where they let their guards pretty much, go do what they want and help them win the game. And then obviously with Notre Dame, you got Coach Bray and just tradition there. So in Penn State, obviously it's Penn State, but honestly, it was pretty close up until the end. I had GMAT, Coach Boeheim, and come within like 4 or 5 times within like a 2-week span of my football season right before I was committing. And that was kind of when I like realized like, this is like the place for me. Like these guys are, really dedicated, really showing some love. And, I really appreciate like, what the Orange family and all that kind of stuff is about. But like you said, it's kind of, Syracuse was always kind of that dream school, growing up in New York and seeing it on TV all the time, seeing players like you, GMAC, and all those kind of guys that came before you, and just seeing it on TV there's nothing like it, and obviously there's nothing like the Dome in the country, and even in the world. So it was always the dream for sure.